Using learning programming languages and learning languages, natural languages, require the same skills, or they actually require very different skill set. There are two kind of different thoughts about this. One kind of scientists think that programming, learning programming really require a lot of mathematical skills and logical skills. It's a math-based learning. And another line of thought is learning programming languages is just like how humans learn natural languages. It's just a language-based skill. You need a lot of linguistic skills to learn how to write programs. So today we are going to discuss this and look into experiments that were done recently to figure out, to discuss which one is correct. Okay, so before we dive in, if you would like to receive more scientific paper reviews, analysis like this, don't forget to subscribe. Your subscription is my greatest encouragement to make more videos like this. So back to our topic, is learning programming is the same as learning natural languages. Okay, so the experiment we are going to look at is a experiment. They use MRI to scan the brain when people do the language related things and the programming related things. So they scan the brain when people doing these two different kinds of activities, and they found out reading code does not trigger the brain regions when people do the natural language processing. So it means reading code is very different from reading languages. And you can also infer that learning languages is very different from learning programming languages in terms of like activity regions in the brain. In fact, when people are reading code, they actually trigger the brain area that's called the multiple domain network. The multiple domain network is the brain regions they usually when people when people solve math problems or crossword puzzles, they will use that region, the multiple domain network. So this just tells us like learning programming languages, reading programming languages is closer to solving math problems. But the tricky thing is it's not entirely the same as when people solve logical problems or math problems. It's slightly different in terms of the specific regions they activate, but it's closer to that. And scientists now think it's not exactly the same as that as doing math. So programming is kind of like its own thing. It has these kind of a spatial regions of activity. One thing that we need to notice is this experiment was done. The participants all were children, so they just very first learn the languages, or they didn't have too much experience with languages, programming languages. So they may just also will be a case if you do this kind of brain scan MRI to the more experienced, let's say 30 years of programming experience, they kind of people, they may have certain specification in their brain instead of like just use a general multiple domain network like those original experiment participants did, which they were all children. Okay, so this is like settled up the debate that is a learning programming languages closer to language skills or math skills. It's actually closer to math skills, but it's not exactly the same. It also will bring out a more interesting future work. It's like, what's the best predictor if this person can learn programming really well? Is that we should look at their language skills or math-based skills? I think the answer may be we still don't know yet. We know that it's closer to math, but is it really the case? If you have the better math skills, then you will also have a better success in programming. We are not sure, but I believe there will be some people doing this kind of experiments, and I'm very excited to see the result. Okay, so that's the thing that I want to share with you today. And if you would like to receive more scientific paper reviews like these scientific paper experiments, the kind of things, don't forget to subscribe. Your subscription is definitely my best support to make more videos like this. And other than that, take care and enjoy your day. I'll see you next time.